No, Joey. He'll come back, and we are recording in 5, 4, 3, 2. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Not Something Something podcast. I'm still Eric Kasloff, and with me is the third host of the show. He is one of my favorite movie reviewers on YouTube, Dylan, aka Slasher Movie Reviews. How's it going, Dylan?
Oh, it's going wonderful. It's going wonderful.
And Dylan, October for horror fans, this has been one of the best Octobers ever.
Oh, absolutely, man. We've actually had some serious content, not just at the cinemas, obviously with Halloween, but on streaming sites, on VOD. There's been a ton of content. I've been overwhelmed, honestly, trying to watch it all.
Yeah, we'll talk about this really quick. Haunting of Hill House. Oh man. Here's the way I watched it. Thursday night at my church was VBS. Me and one of my buddies was like, "Hey, Haunting of Hill House, what's that about?" Like, "No, man, I'm hearing good things about it." Now that was a Friday. Saturday we were supposed to go to the zoo because we were doing nature theme. I couldn't make it. I go to church Sunday. Now, I love that song Easy Like Sunday Morning, but none of those people ever went to church. Because there's Sunday, when you're a churchgoer, feels like it's 2 days long.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I get to church at 7:45 in the morning. I don't leave at 11 o'clock at night because I do lighting and all these other things. And yeah, I feel it is a 2-day process for one day.
After service, I come home, fall asleep right away, wake up at I got out at around 1:30. I tried to watch the Giants game. They sucked too bad this year.
Yep.
I took a nap, woke up at 5, and then marathoned every episode of that thing till 3 in the morning.
Yep.
And my jaw was like, oh. And like we were saying before we recorded, episode 6.
It's the best. It's honestly the best piece of horror direction I've seen. Like, it puts there's a lot of horror directors out there, but it puts a lot of them to shame with the cinematography, with the camera works, with the performances coming out. Also, it's like hitting dark and like philosophical layers about family dysfunctions and grief, and while also just being like absolutely terrifying with all the way. Oh my god, it is perfect. Like 5 and 6 are my favorite episodes of the show.
Because
5 scares the crap out of me. 6 broke me down.
Luke was probably my favorite character in the whole thing.
I was a big Theo fan. I really liked.
He was awesome.
Theo was awesome. I really liked her a lot. So she was my favorite. I really liked her whole, like, when she sits on the couch and she catches the guy and I was like, this is. Oh, it was traumatizing. Oh my god. And Neil broke my heart with her whole when she returns back to the house, and oh my man.
What else was she in? Because she looked really familiar.
I know, she did look familiar to me. I never took the time to actually Google her and figure where I've seen her from.
And hey, we gotta say it, Lulu Wilson, man. She is the Scream princess right now.
I know, she's killing the game. Like, she is in everything and with horror, and she's all in these really good projects. I hope someone please keep her in horror.
She's gonna be in that the other Shirley Jackson adaptation, the We Have Always Lived in the Castle.
Yes.
I remember hearing about that. But yeah, we had Halloween. Then we had it didn't come out in October, but right around Hellfest, which I enjoyed a lot.
No one showed up to see it at the cinema, sadly, but it was a throwback to like late 80s and early 90s slasher films. It had great setting, fun characters. It took a little bit going to get to the kills, but it was a really fun film, and it's definitely a film I'm going to own in my collection one day.
Same with me. It's a guaranteed day one Blu-ray purchase, and there were a lot of Fest movies this year. There was Bloodfest, which I liked.
I haven't seen that yet. I haven't seen it yet. I almost bought it the other day. It's a little pricey, I felt like, for
I would
it.
say rent it on Amazon before you see it. There was American Horror Fest, which is on Amazon Prime for free. I
Okay.
liked it. It was okay. But then tomorrow is the thing I'm the most excited for, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. I'll be honest, I've never been excited for a comic book adaptation till now. Because I've read every issue of the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I'm so excited. So I grew up watching the old like ABC Family show,
Yeah.
which is obviously nothing in connection to what this is. But I didn't know anything about the Archie comics or anything like that. But I do watch Riverdale.
Good show.
Yeah, it is a good show. So when I heard that they were doing this, and then that trailer came out, and that teaser trailer is phenomenal.
Yes.
It's so good. It's so good. I'm so excited. Literally, I'm probably going to coffee up because I have and I'm going to probably binge it all late tonight when it hits like midnight around California time.
Midnight?
Well, so they technically come out at midnight California time.
So 9 o'clock for us?
It would be like for
I'm in Jersey, so we're the same time zone. So
yeah, we're on the same time zone. But I think normally, so whatever midnight is in California, like LA, that is
so 3 a.m. for us.
3 a.m. I'm literally probably going to take a nap. I'm gonna coffee up and I'm gonna watch it because I'm too excited. I did the same thing for Hill House, same thing, and I just Hill House broke me. It's like literally, I'm probably, if anyone watches this, who follows my channel, I'm probably gonna break my rule with Hill House since it is a show, and I don't put shows in my top 10 list. It's probably going to be in my top 10 list because it's
top
literally
5
like,
for me.
It's like that and Hereditary are the only two things that matter in my life right now. It's just, but I'm really excited about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. It just looks awesome, and I love that actress so much.
She's so good. Again, I read the comic, the first volume, and I'm getting the new issues. They don't come out every month. They come out when they want them to. Mm-hmm. And all I'm gonna say is this: Dark Baptism to Satan. The ants are probably cannibals.
Oh, God bless.
And in one issue, the resurrected Sabrina's father, as another person, wants to sleep with her for a couple seconds.
Wow, I can't wait. This is gonna be great.
But yeah, and then there's like a Suspiria tomorrow.
Suspiria, I saw it at Fantastic Fest.
Yeah, I liked your review and commented to help you out, but I didn't listen to your review yet.
No, I don't blame you. It's visceral. It's assaulting. It is way too long.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think it's the masterpiece some people hail it as, but I do think it is worth watching, and you won't see anything like it. So if you like Darren Aronofsky's Mother, if you like that, Suspiria is. I recommend it to that crowd.
Chewy, cool out, Chewy.
Chewy wants to be in the video.
Well, he wants to go for a walk. Give me a minute.
Yeah, right.
No
one ever.
Hold on. Okay, all of this will be edited out. So,
Yeah.
Suspiria, what were you saying? It's not, if you liked Mother, wait,
Yes, if you like Darren Aronofsky's Mother, oh yeah, if you like Darren Aronofsky's Mother, then I think you're really going to like Suspiria, because they're both visceral and a shock value type of film. I do think Suspiria is a little long, but I do think I've never seen anything quite like it. It is not a remake. It is like its own thing, which I really appreciated, but I do think it's way too long. There's a perfect 100-minute movie in there out of its 125.
Wow.
But it is, oh my god, it's shocking.
Again, I'm hoping, because right now it's saying that it's select theaters. So I'm hoping we get it in Jersey. If not, I'm going to have to take a bus and go to Times Square and watch it. And poor me for having to go into Times Square to watch a movie, right?
Yeah.
But hey, we are here to talk about something. I guess that means, again, I love Suspiria. It's a masterpiece, but dude, we got a Halloween movie in October. And it was great.
Oh, it was amazing. It was everything I personally wanted out of a Halloween film and more. Like, it was the true, no, I love Halloween 2 a lot, but in my opinion, this one is the best one next to the original. Like, I was blown away by this one.
Again, I'll try to get into our rankings later, but before this one came out, my favorites went 1 and 4. But yeah, this one is now my second favorite. But before we talk about the good, it's like before you can talk about Batman Begins, you gotta briefly talk about Batman and Robin. And by that, I mean the Rob Zombie movies.
Literally the worst films I've ever seen in my life.
You would go that hard on it?
I would go that hard on it. Okay, fun fact. My dad was really looking forward to watching it just as much as I was, because we're like, well, Rob Zombie, he's perfect to do the guy. He loves the Halloween films, and Halloween's like my dad's favorite horror movie. So really? We were super excited. It was so bad. My dad reimbursed me for the money that I spent on the
gosh.
He has never reimbursed me for any of the movies that I've ever paid for me and him to go see. But he reimbursed me for that. Yeah. And it was awful. And unfortunately, somehow it managed to get a sequel.
We'll get to the sequel in a minute, but I want to talk about the things I really hated about it and the 2 things I liked about it. Number 1, and this is a given, giving Michael Myers a reason. I mean, broken home, kills small animals, which right away is the sign of a serial killer. His stepdad, his mom, his sister. It's like the first kill in the movie when, Junie from Spy Kids shows up. I felt good that he killed that kid because let's just say me and you were out at a Chick-fil-A eating chicken sandwiches, and across the way we see a little kid getting beat up by we see a 10-year-old getting beat up by a 16-year-old. We're going to want to do the right thing and help. And then let's say that 10-year-old does some MMA moves on that 17-year-old, beats him down, then walks away. We're going to be like, whoa, check out that 10-year-old. You felt good about him killing Junie. When he kills his stepdad and his sister, again, you feel, again, I'd hate to say it, MFers got what they deserved.
Yeah.
And the original, it was like, oh my God, what's going on? Who's killing this poor young girl? What's going on? And then a 10-year-old did it? From a good middle-class white family? That doesn't happen in the suburbs. And hey, funny thing, the dude from the opening of the original Halloween, I think he either started the True Love Waits campaign or something like it.
Mm.
Nice jacket, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Now I'm going to say the two things I kind of liked about Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh, God.
Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis. If you're going to recast Dr. Loomis in a remake, there's two ways to go. Gary Oldman or Malcolm McDowell. And I think for what he had, he was likable in it. Kind of like how, oh man, what's his face in the prequels who played Obi-Wan was the best part of them?
Yep.
Ewan McGregor?
Yep, there's
yeah.
Can't believe.
But him, and I kind of liked a little bit of Scott Taylor Thompson as Laurie Strode for a few minutes. Way better in the first one than in the sequel. I hated her guts, man.
Oh, yeah. I feel on that. She's solid. She's decently likable. She's obviously no Jamie, but she's better than expected. I also like Loomis. Loomis was one of my favorite things about the film, and I don't hate the last, the final act of the film when it actually becomes Halloween. Yeah. But at that point, it's too little too late.
Exactly.
And at that point, I get angry about it because I'm like, your movie is right there. Your movie's there. You wasted so much time with all this nonsense and all this, and also it's just characters being a lot of really stupid a lot of times, and it's just, and it's not even really. I mean, granted, it's Rob Zombie's best directed film in terms of cinematography and everything like that, but it's still very jumbled, and it feels like chapters. It doesn't have a consistent pace to me, and it's not good at all. And I would honestly say it's probably it's easily one of the worst films I've ever seen, because I don't think it respects the original in a lot of ways. I think it tries to one up the original, and it tries to be better than the original, and it doesn't really respect it. And then when it tries to respect it with the ending, it's like, I'm not a fan of it.
No, yeah. The other thing, there's just nothing really other positive things to say about it.
No.
Well, this is what I will say. I would rather watch Resurrection than Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I'm with you on that, and I know I get a lot of weird looks with that, because Resurrection, I mean, you have Busta Rhymes and Tyra Banks, and it's awful. It's truly a terrible, terrible movie, but it's almost like it's almost fun to watch compared to Rob Zombies. Yeah. It's like Rob Zombies is so devoid of any sort of fun, but at least with Resurrection, I can laugh at it and not with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just get past the whole Jamie Lee's big death in the beginning, which really irks me so much.
Yeah.
It can become a little bit fun in how bad it is.
Part of me still feels that wasn't meant to be a Halloween movie.
No, I think it was a failed script of something else that they picked up and was like, hey, let's run this as a Halloween film. And then they changed it all. And I felt the same way when I watched it. I was like, this sounds like some sort of like with the thing with the house and I don't believe it was a Halloween film in the start.
And even at that, you got to give that credit for predicting where reality shows were going to go and streaming. I mean, it was still 56K back then. That was the norm. DSL wasn't in every home yet. Broadband wasn't even a thought.
Yep.
And now we have to talk about the turd nugget that is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Whew. Man.
Just when you think it couldn't get worse. And I've heard people think that this one is better. And for me, I can't get with it. The whole white horse, the whole glory nonsense. And Rob Zombie just posted the other day when he was looking back on it, he says, yeah, I prefer the second one over the first one. And I'm like, oh God.
Well, because he got to make his own movie that had
Yeah.
the Halloween name on it.
Yep.
And what's weird is it's kind of getting a cult following right now.
Oh, I know. People are love H2, and I'm not for it.
One of my favorite YouTubers, Dumb Drums,
Yeah.
likes it, and I'm like, wow, really?
Yeah, I love that guy too. But
He's one of my favorite YouTubers.
yeah, he's great. He's great. He's a cool guy. But yeah, he likes too because I've been watching his whole like Halloween series and him revisiting and all that stuff, and it's been really fun. But yeah, to each their own. But Halloween 2 is a mess. It's a mess. It's not even well shot. I don't like the cuts. I mean, Michael is the guy that got playing Michael. He could be good. It's just I don't like anything that they do with him.
Well, he was more Hobo Steve than Michael Myers.
Yeah.
I mean, we get to see him without his mask for the bulk of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he talks.
Oh my God.
Die! But again, the one Laurie having PTSD, that was smart. That was understandable.
Yeah.
But her being a evil person to everyone around her, I mean, Sherry Brackett and I forget what was, oh man, I forget the other character. I forget who Daniel Day Harris played in it. I forget what her name was.
Oh yeah.
Well, Daniel Day Harris. She was likable in the first and second one, but again, the second movie, it felt like Rob Zombie was playing with house money, and he just wrote Halloween 2's name on it and made his weird art film.
Yep.
Again, there was nothing really redeemable about that movie.
I 100% agree.
His first one, okay, people who want to argue good points about it, I'll sit back and listen. But H2, it's just wrong.
I'm right there with you. Yeah, like when anyone tries to and there's so many people who defend H2 as like the definitive Rob Zombie like film, and I'm just like, no.
In every negative aspect, it's the definitive Rob Zombie film.
I know, right?
All style, no substance.
All style, no substance, and his wife is not good in it. And that the whole subplot with her.
Has she ever been good in anything? Lords of Salem. Maybe Lords of Salem.
I couldn't get into it. I was not a fan. I'm not a Rob Zombie guy. I like parts of Devil's Rejects a lot, though.
I watched them, but they were just so mean-spirited for me. There was no fun in those two movies. I mean, I'll probably see 3 from Hell.
Mm-hmm.
But man, okay, so that garbage happened. Then there was this gap where there were scripts coming out for Halloween. Halloween Returns, which you can find the script online. And I haven't read it, but the little bits I've heard about it, it would have been awesome.
Yeah, I haven't read it either, but I follow the like news articles as they dropped, and they mentioned like some of like the high key points. And yeah, Halloween Returns would have been awesome. And I hope that if they make a sequel to this one, that they pull from it.
I have the PDF of the script. I could send it to you.
Please do.
When we're done, I'll send it to you. Maybe we'll talk about that next.
Yeah.
I mean, there was even thoughts of Pinhead versus Michael Myers.
I heard about that.
Off subject, did you hear about the ending of Freddy versus Jason that involved Pinhead?
I heard that as well, and I heard also about how like basically every horror legend ever was almost going to be in like a Freddy versus Jason sequel. I know they really wanted Ash Williams more than
The
anything.
comic is awesome.
Oh, I know. I
So
read the comic too.
if you're watching this and you don't know what the Pinhead ending was, apparently at one of the drafts, Freddy and Jason were going to fall into hell and we're going to start fighting each other. And then these metal hooks would have pulled them each onto walls, separating them. And Pinhead was going to walk in and go, "Gentlemen, what seems to be the problem?" That would have been awesome.
Oh my god, I would have died.
Yeah, I saw that in theaters the opening weekend. I saw that.
Oh, I did not. I wasn't quite into horror just yet, so.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like,
I got to see most of the Freddy movies in the theaters because as a kid, my parents would take me to them. I saw 4, 5, Freddy's Dead. Then me and my grandma went to see New Nightmare when I was a teenager.
That's awesome.
Then, what was it? Man, last year, 2017, we heard that Danny McBride and David Gordon Green were working on the new Halloween movie. Blumhouse was behind it, which immediately perked my ears. Like, okay. Then when why am I blank? Carpenter gave his okay. It's like, hey, what's going on here? And then Jamie Lee Curtis coming in was like, okay, take my money now. Can I cryogenically freeze myself till the movie comes out?
Yep, I feel you on that. Like, I mean, you don't hire, in my opinion, a comedy actor and a comedy director without fully believing in their vision. Like, you don't, so like when the moment that they were hired, I was like, you know what? If they can do it, it's 2018. If Jordan Peele can make Get Out and John Krasinski can make A Quiet Place, then you know what? David Gordon Green and Danny McBride can sure make a Halloween film. So I was always on board with this. And when Jamie came back and they released that freaking photo of Jamie standing with Michael in the background, I knew right then and there that this was going to break box office gold, that it was going to be amazing.
And it has. It's as we speak, $100 million.
Oh yes, and rightfully deserving so.
And I think it'll end up doing more.
Oh yeah. Like for the rest of October, that movie is just going to be ranking in money, and even a little bit post. But right now this is its prime because it is October.
I mean, we could actually go on Halloween night and see a Halloween movie.
That sounds awesome.
I wish they would Marvel it and just play all the movies starting October 30th and just boom right into the new one. Now, me and you were following it very closely. We did a breakdown review of the trailer, one of my favorite videos we ever did. Now, before we get into discussing the lucky way you got to see the movie, let's say, what if Jamie Lee Curtis wouldn't have come back and they would have done it with Daniel Day-Harris picking up from part 4? How would you have felt about that?
Well, 4 is great, so I would have been game to watch that.
Saw it in theaters when I was a little kid. That's when my crush on Daniel Day-Harris started.
Yep. So, like, I would have totally have been fine with that and everything. Like, it would have been great. But, yeah. But, yeah, like, I would have been fine with that. But the Halloween franchise is Jamie's franchise. Like, she owns those first 2 films and has carried it even past, to the point with H2O. So, like, she's only been in, like, 4, 5 films now, if you include
Resurrection.
I don't really either, which is, like, it's 4.5.
Yeah.
4 3/4. 4 1/4.
Season of the Witch.
Yeah, Season of the Witch, the most underrated horror film I've ever seen.
Heck yeah, man.
It's
But
perfect.
still,
It is a perfect horror movie, and all the little babies who hate it because it doesn't have Michael Myers are idiots.
as a kid, I didn't like it that much. I mean, as a little kid, because there's no Michael Myers. But as I've gotten older and I understand what they were going for, I appreciate it much, much more now.
It is honestly, before this new one, it was my second favorite in the franchise.
Wow. See, they
I
don't rank it in the other Halloween movies because I feel it should be its own separate thing.
Its own separate thing, and I would be totally happy if they broke it away from the franchise and just called it Season of the Witch. But as of right now, it's technically qualified as part of the franchise, so technically I rank it number 2. Well, no longer that anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so tell everyone on this channel the awesome way you got to watch it for the first time.
Okay, y'all, I got to attend the premiere at Fantastic Fest. So every year I go to Austin, Texas. I cover this film festival called Fantastic Fest. It's this world's largest genre film festival. Halloween was our opening film.
Now, is it the biggest in America? Because I think Citrus in Italy might be the...
Yes, it's the biggest in America.
Okay.
So I went and I got a press badge. So I was also able to work the red carpet
for you about that. You deserve that, man.
Oh, I know. It was I'm still living on a cloud 9 from it. It was, so I got to work the red carpet. Like literally I'm standing next to IMDb and like the Alamo Drafthouse like social media site lady, and we're like on the red carpet. Jamie's coming in. I'm talking with Jamie, Jason Blum. The actress who plays Alice in the film was super nice. And Jamie is just so like fiery. Like she's like definition of fire. Like she stole the room when she showed up. My favorite moment was we were talking about the movie, but then a fan like asked for a high five, and she gives a high five and then proceeds to pull that fan in and give us all a lecture on where the first high five originated from, when it was first documented, how it was like this gay baseball player and all this stuff, and like how on the whole ordeal. And it went on for a while, and it was like all of us were just zoned into Jamie as she was telling the story. And now I only want to give high fives from people because it's like she's just like, she's so cool. It was really cool to talk to her. Jason Blum is awesome. I was even able to get like a selfie with him because a stupid little...
I hated it so much when you sent that to me.
Yeah. Well, first off, I was talking with him, and then I was rudely interrupted by a fan, I guess, who wanted a selfie when we were talking about Friday the 13th. I'm on the Halloween red carpet, yet I'm talking Friday the 13th with Jason Blum.
But I think that's because our favorite franchises, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Friday 13th is mine. So I wanted to talk to him about that. And I was talking to him about it, and he was super, super nice about it. And then basically I got a selfie with him because the guy kind of like ruined our like interview in a sense. So it was great. It was great. Jason was awesome, and Jason was like, you know what, this is what I'm here for. So yeah, let's do a photo. And I was like, God, you're awesome. So yeah, it was super cool. It was an opening night film, and the crowd was insane. The Q&A afterwards was insane. And yeah, so that was...
Are your interviews going to be up on your channel soon, or are they somewhere else?
Shoot, I don't know yet what I'm gonna do with my footage of it, because it was so chaotic. Some of it is really good, some of it is absolutely awful. It was my first red carpet I've ever worked. First of many, yes, because I ended up getting to work. I worked Overlord, which was awesome. I worked Destroyer, Jack Black's Tenacious D.
They're doing another Tenacious D movie?
They're doing another Tenacious D. It's different, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of the movie, but the concert afterwards was awesome. Yeah, Oh yeah, and so like that was just such a really really cool experience. And they talked a lot about just like everyone involved just had passion, and it just shows in the film in a lot of ways. Like my favorite thing about this Halloween film is that it's Halloween. Like it oozes Halloween. It oozes everything about Halloween. Michael Myers, the killer, the characters. It's the night, the score. Like the score is a freaking banger. I've been listening to it. It's so great.
I'm going to get into that when we start getting into the main story, because when Allison's friend dies, that is John Carpenter's best score ever.
Oh, I know. It's my favorite track too.
Well, people
It's
who
such a good
are
one.
just watching, even though there's an age difference, me and Dylan are pretty much the same person as all horror fans are.
Yeah, we're always watching the same stuff. We're always talking about the same stuff. Where we'll watch mainstream horror films, the little indie things. We're always so like me and Eric we always got something to talk about.
Now, when you were there, I mean, I'm guessing your first Halloween in theaters was the zombie Halloweens.
Sadly, so that was my first Halloween film I saw on the big screen.
Me, it was 4. How did it feel for you to be experiencing a really good Halloween film with people who cared about the movie? Because
It was worth the wait. Because I didn't get it with Halloween and H2. Well, I didn't even see H2 in the theaters. In fact, I boycotted H2. I
I
was like,
never
I'm not
saw
seeing
either
it
in the
for a
theater.
while because I hated the first one so much. And then eventually I gave in and watched it, and I wish I had just gone back to my boycott. Um, because I hated the first one so much. But oh my, it was so worth the wait. It was so worth the wait to hear the score on the big screen. My theater, like my row that I sat on, we were eating it up. I mean, there were shots in that thing, like with Judy Greer, and that towards the end, that just like everyone was just like lit up like a Christmas tree. Like I couldn't break the grin off my face the whole time I was watching this film.
So let's actually talk about the movie now. Well, the opening, I'll talk about one thing really quick, then we'll get to the nitty gritty, because I'm finally getting to talk about it with a super fan. My favorite opening ever for a Halloween movie is 4. But this
Great.
one, with the pumpkin inflating, that's second, easily my second favorite.
Oh, it was such a small but genius little idea to do. I love the inflating of the pumpkin. I really liked the whole like seeing Michael locked up with the interviewers. I thought that was a really cool, interesting way to like absorb us in and to see that he's still menacing. Like he can feel the mask, but yet I love that. I love that.
We're going to get into the movie right now. So, if you've been living under a rock, Halloween 2018 takes place 40 years after the original. So, all the sequels that we know and love, even the ones that are bad, don't count anymore. This is sort of an Earth 4 version of Halloween.
Yep.
It begins with Michael incarcerated in the I'm blanking right now. I want to take in Smith's Grove Sanitarium, and 2 characters who we were first told were documentarians originally. Yep. And then we found out they were podcasters. And as a podcaster, I had some issues with the way they were going about things. I was like, wait a minute. We would never do a thing like that.
Yep, here's $3,000.
So it starts off with these guys showing up. Now, you talk about it, then I'm gonna add how I would have done it, and then you could add how you would have done the opening.
All right. Well, I mean, I was personally satisfied a lot with the opening to the film. It introduces us to Michael. It just, it sees us, he's still menacing. And the podcasters were funny to me. because of how much they took themselves serious. But I was like, they're podcasters. Like she was like investigative journalism. And I was like, oh my God, how's $3,000? I'm like, girl, you do not have $3,000. You are a podcaster.
As a podcaster, unless you're freaking Mark Marrow or one of those guys, you're don't have $3,000 laying around.
Yeah. Right.
So they get there and they show Michael the mask, which not a smart thing to do.
Nope.
And they're egging him on.
Right. So like they get what's coming to them.
Exactly. You know, you don't tug on Superman's cape and you don't show Michael Myers his mask.
Yeah.
And they could have, I wish they would have talked more about how they got it. Because I have a whole theory. Since they got $3,000 to burn on an interview, I'm thinking they paid off someone to get the mask.
Oh, yeah, they had to. They had to. There's no way that they just stumbled upon it. Yeah, they paid off some guy. They got the mask. They went to see Michael. And I bet their goal was to hopefully Jamie would agree to go meet Michael. And then they would sit down and have a conversation. And it would be the world's greatest podcast episode ever.
What kind of conversation would they have had?
Right? It would have.
Remember that time you murdered my two best friends?
Right? Oh my God. But I did like a lot of the nods in the film because there's that scene where they're walking to school and they're like, wasn't it like her brother? And I'm like, no, that's just some ridiculous thing people made up. Just like, ooh, burn.
Now, after we meet Dr. Zartane, was it?
Yeah.
I've got some stuff to say about him as we go on, but we get to meet all these characters and the chaoticness that's going on in Smith's Grove. When they show Michael the mask, all the other lunatics start freaking out. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I really liked his character a lot. I thought his character was fun. I liked a lot of the new characters. Allison was awesome.
Yes.
She was a great
100% great.
She was a great lead. You know, she felt part of the family. I like Judy Greer as the mom. I actually felt like for the first time, a film actually gave Judy Greer a little bit something to do.
I'm a huge fan of hers.
I'm a huge fan too. I think she's a great actress, but I think she's always like in really good movies, but she is not really really good in her roles, but she's not really given much, but she actually gets something to do in this film. And I thought that was really fun to watch. I thought she was really good in it. I love her line as she gets when she's like crying at the end with the gun and she's like, gotcha. And she's like, oh, so great. So great.
There was one thing about her that I really hated. That's we're gonna be all over the place for the next 30 minutes, people listening. So we apologize. When she says, "Mom, the world's a good, beautiful place. It's not an ugly, dark place," I was like, "No, you do not even really think that. Your way of rebelling is to be calm and normal. You do not really think that."
Yeah.
So that's the beginning of the movie. We see Michael in Smith's Grove. I would have done it a little differently. I would have not made them podcasters. I would have gone with their documentarians.
Yeah.
And for the first 10 minutes, I would have showed different places where Michael did his attacks. Then I would show Tommy Doyle and Lindsay Wallace, who are a happily married couple. Then after that, go into Michael and Smith's Grove. Set up the feeling a little bit more get a lot of, oh yeah, remember that? Remember that? Tag on our nostalgia strings a little bit. Then go into Michael and Smith's Grove. And then after, well, that's how I would have done it. But in the actual movie, they leave Smith's Grove. Then they find Laurie's cabin in the woods. And man, Her dad must have left her some bank.
Oh, I know, because she was able to afford some serious equipment and to make that cave like that.
That, or could she have sued Smith's Grove for Michael escaping and killing everybody?
She's probably.
I mean, it was negligence on their part, kind of.
Yep.
So basically, the podcasters interview Lori, pay her $3,000 for a 3-minute interview. It was like $1,000 a minute.
Right.
And then they leave. And that's when everything gets awesome.
Oh my God. It's like, it is pure Halloween. Like, I love the kills.
Yes.
I mean, the podcaster kills was fun. But I generally think like my favorite kills were probably one, the motion sensor kill, which was awesome.
Now, Chewy.
The motion sensor kill was pretty awesome. And then I really liked the smashing of the head.
Yeah.
I really like those two kills a lot. And then also when like the guy shows up, the dad shows up and he sees the head in the car with the lights. Oh, that was great.
No, Chewy. No. Let's talk about that tracking shot kill.
Oh my God, that was so good. That was so, honestly, that whole scene is like pure Halloween. Like the kids are walking around, you know, they bump into
the
Michael.
silver shamrock mask.
Oh, and of course I saw that. I've seen that like every time I saw it in the trailer.
When we did our trailer breakdown, I didn't notice it. And I was like, oh man, why didn't I notice that? I gotta talk about that tracking shot kill where, you know, we get Mrs. Elrod finally getting killed.
Yep.
But then after he leaves, and there's a scene where he breaks into this house from the back and kills that lady. It reminds me of that scene in Big Daddy when Adam Sandler's taking the kid trick-or-treating. Oh. And the guy's like waving him off. No. And then Adam Sandler breaks in and beats the guy up. The second I saw the trailer, that's the first thing that popped in my head. What did you think about Dr. Sartain being in this cut, apparently, the one who causes the accident?
I thought it was a cool little twist. It gave the movie more plot to run with, I guess you could say, instead of just being like, here's just a little slasher film, Michael's out, now everyone run. I liked it a lot. I thought it was cool. I liked his character a lot. I mean, they could have done more with it if I had any gripes. I mean, like, really like the whole conversations about like what it does to a person, the stalker and the prey, you know, like there's all those shots in the original of Michael stalking Lori, but then there's these shots in this one of Lori stalking Michael that I thought was really cool. So it was kind of cool to see like the tables turn in a lot of ways. And I like that his character was kind of word vomiting a lot of the things that we were seeing. So I really like that aspect. And I think if they make another one, I would really like to see, you know, okay, the conclusion of that, in the sense of like, all right, we've seen the predator, we've seen the prey, they've taken sides. Now let's finish this.
How did your theater react to You're the New Loomis?
At Fantastic Fest, they loved it. And
none of my audiences got it.
Yeah.
Go on.
At Fantastic Fest, they loved it. In the regular theater, no one did anything. Both times I saw it, they were just like, "Oh, okay," you know. But the other theaters like, "Ha, he got to come back. He got to call out."
I liked his character, but I would have liked to have seen more. Now, apparently, in one of the cuts that test audiences didn't like, Lori caused the bus crash. And that's why when she came to the restaurant, she was so shaken up. How would you have felt if they would have went that route?
Well, that would have made sense because it was a weird cut if you think about it. All of a sudden, we're following these two guys, and the bus has already crashed. There's all this mayhem going on. We didn't see any of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if, if that was indeed the case. I mean, it would have hurt, sure. Laurie would have been responsible for every death that came afterwards, then in a way. And I think that maybe that's why they took it out.
If that ever really happened, because you never know, like, people could be making this up.
Yeah.
And I would have felt the same way you were. I would have blamed her through the whole movie.
Yeah.
It would have been like, oh, this is all your fault. You overdid it.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm happy they didn't go that route. And there was another thing the ending, we'll get to the ending in a little bit. Let's talk about, again, you're saying your favorite death was the head smash one, right?
I really liked the head smash.
Yeah.
The head smash was awesome.
The bathroom was my favorite because it was a callback to 4 and H2O.
Yep.
And man, the second time I watched it, I noticed more, like when the lady podcaster walks in the background, you see Michael killing the guy. And I was like, whoa, I didn't notice that. And you do get to see his whole face really quick in a scene. When the guy podcaster's there in the car,
the
white truck pulls up and you see Michael's face.
Oh wow! I
really quickly
didn't even see. I missed that.
Oh, and there was another callback to 4 with the Jesus van. A callback to the drunken preacher in part 4.
Oh yeah, there's an insane amount of Easter eggs all layered throughout this film. I mean, I think we can all agree that the one that gets everyone going is the rooftop scene. Yes. On the balcony. I mean, literally every showing that I've seen, it's like, oh snap, and then he looks, and then Michael looks away, and then she's gone, and like everyone erupts into applause. Like, it is just such a cool moment. I mean, my favorite moment in the movie is when Laurie is walking through the house and she's shutting all the doors. It was so tense. It was so tense. And I really like that scene a lot.
With that rooftop scene, apparently the room she was in is a complete replica of the Doyle's living room, of the Doyle's bedroom.
Oh, okay.
I forget who I heard talk about that. Apparently that's what it was. Where the closet was, where the window was. Yeah, so yeah, that was awesome. Now let's talk about, people are calling it an ending. Me and you know it's a cliffhanger.
It's a horror movie and it's a slasher film. There's no such thing as full-blown endings to slasher films. They're always cliffhangers. They're always open-ended. And this thing just opened up for Halloween 2, just like any other slasher film opens up for another one. I love that about this film. I love it. I love the ending, but also I feel like there's more to be told.
Yeah, if again, this is full spoilers, I'll put a warning in the beginning. There is an awesome scene where the two generations of the Strode women, Judy Green and her daughter, are in the bunker. Judy Green does this. She plays possum so well to Michael and Gatya. So basically, Michael is left in a basement, locked in with actual steel bars. As we find out, it wasn't a cage, it was a trap.
Yep.
The house is set on fire, and Michael is left in the basement to burn as 3 generations of Strode women run out, get into a car, and maybe drive to safety, but no. I'm not saying Michael's driving the truck, but he ain't dead.
Oh no, he ain't dead. Here, yeah, and he's not dead. I love the final shot of like the
Like,
hand on the knife and the blood.
it felt
Um,
like something out of Ty West's House of the Devil, that shot.
yeah, yeah. Um, it's just it was. Yeah, no, I there's so many things that there's so many different directions I think that they could take a sequel in.
Now, do you see it? Apparently, again, the script was going to be one long night, like the original 1 and 2. Where
Mhm.
do you want to see the sequel go? Next year or the same night?
Actually, I think it's gonna be either or of that. I think they're either gonna jump 1 year later, or it's going to be like Halloween 2, and it's just gonna be a continuation. And watch them call it Halloween Returns, and
Yes.
yeah, watch them call it Halloween Returns, and it will take place right immediately after that. Because Jamie Lee Curtis, they just announced recently that she is actually would be willing to come back and do another if David Gordon Green directed.
And
So
that got David Gordon Green the job.
yep, that got him the job. So like, watch it be a continuation of the ending of this. They go to the hospital to get cleaned up. They find out that there's no body in the house. The movie continues on.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you have three generations of Strobes fighting around in a hospital all on Halloween night. Watch them end up back at the old house in the Haddingtonfield, Illinois,
Yeah.
to set things into straight. Laurie and Michael die together, and there you go. You have a complete Halloween new trilogy on your
Yeah.
hands, and boom, done and done. Jamie goes to the bank and cashes in the next $100 million check that she gets, and then boom, you're done. Like, the thing about it is, it doesn't need to be overthinked. Like, it's a slasher film. We just want really cool kills. We want Michael Myers. We just want Halloween. It doesn't need to be overthinked. But I think that would be really awesome because everyone went and saw this, so no one needs to go rewatch this or be re-explained.
Mhm.
You can just jump right back into it. However, jumping 1 year later and just following Allison is also really cool because I think they're trying to set her up as like a major player.
Yeah,
And
I definitely felt that.
yeah, and I was like totally fine with that. Her holding the knife at the end, Jamie Lee Curtis said in the Q&A, that's a holding of the baton. That's me passing the franchise over to this new actress. And in a lot of ways, it felt like that with that final shot.
That's what I got too. I mean, some people are going to probably think, oh, is she going to be the killer now, like Jamie Lloyd was in part 4?
Yeah.
No, because there's no Cult of Thorn anymore.
Yeah.
I would personally really love to see it pick up. Boom, right from the second one opens with them in the truck. And man, how cool would it be if like a horror legend is driving the truck? Like freaking Robert Englund or Kane Hodder?
Yeah.
Or even, oh man, the guy who plays Pinhead, what's his name? I'll put his name in later. That or Busta Rhymes or LL Cool J.
Tyra Banks. She ain't doing nothing. She needs some
I
work.
would have loved for if at the Halloween dance, if a Busta Rhymes song was playing, that would have been the ultimate troll.
Oh, it would have been great.
But yeah, I would love to see it pick up right from there. But where would you want to see the franchise going after this? Would you want more, or do you think it should just end with this?
I want more, obviously.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I love horror to death, and I love possession films and supernatural stuff. But the slasher genre is in the need of a revival.
Yes.
It needs to come back. And so we just had Halloween, and I think it could very well do it. So, and I think that there's interest in watching this stuff more. So I just want more of it. I want to, not only do I want to see Halloween, I want to see Jason back more than anything. Honestly, I want to see Jason back.
So do I.
More than Michael, to be honest. Like, Jason's my boy. Like, I love him.
Same with me. I'll find you the picture. First grade Halloween party. I was dressed as Jason and I had to hide my knife. The teacher told me, you got to keep that in your desk.
Oh, man. That's awesome.
But again, and as two guys who are writing slasher movies, hopefully this will help us out. But would you want to see more Halloween movies after this? Like start maybe another fresh reboot, another remake with a competent writer, director like Lee Wynell, James Wan?
Absolutely, always. I mean, if they're involved, I would watch anything that they do, rebooted or not. I think with the success of this, I think they would be silly to not build off of this film and just continue to go from this. So that's just why I think if they jump a year later, they need to pull back everything that just happened on this. But I think that would be silly since everyone saw this movie, given the box office report. That it would just to me it just makes sense to just continue right where this film left off on that truck.
But could you see it being the same timeline, like a 90-year-old Michael Myers?
I could.
Really?
I could.
Again, I'm a wrestling fan, and I see a lot of old wrestlers who are able to do amazing things being in good health, but a 90-year-old Michael, I would kind of want a reboot after this next one.
I mean, I could watch it as long as they're like, as long as they play that up, you know?
Yeah, like maybe try to mention, hey, this is back on Earth 2. This next Halloween movie takes place in, and then have like a Flashpoint incident where all the Halloween movies come together. But no, yeah, overall, I mean, you gave it a 4.5, right?
Oh, yeah, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. I was a massive fan. This, in me, was everything I wanted and more, not only as a Halloween film, but as a slasher film and as a horror film and just as a movie in general. I think this is a great movie. I think the performances are great. I think the cinematography is awesome. John Carpenter's score is just fantastic. Like, everything about it is freaking Halloween. So yeah, overall, like, I love this movie and I can't wait for more.
Again, I like to do letter grades. I would give it an A. And here's what I'll say about it. My top 3 favorite movies of the year as of right now is Christopher Robin's, Halloween, and Summer of '84.
Oh, I still haven't watched that. I have a link for it, but I need to get to.
But yeah, now let me say this though. After maybe one more time of Halloween, it might become my favorite movie of the year. But I watch a lot of horror movies, so when I can see something uplifting and makes me smile, I love it. But yeah, it is easily probably tied for my favorite movie of the year. And again, my top 5 Halloweens, we won't do the whole thing, would go 1, 2, I mean, 2018, 4, H2O, and Halloween 5.
Okay.
Even though I know Halloween 5 isn't that great of a movie.
No.
But it's still, I mean, no, you know what? No, I'll take that back. 6, the director's cut of 6. I don't like the producer's cut.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen both cuts of it?
I've seen both cuts. I own both cuts.
Which cut do you like most?
Producers as well.
I like the regular cut. I'm sorry. I like the theatrical cut.
The theatrical. I actually like the directors. There's parts of the theatrical and parts of the directors I wish I could just infuse together.
Like what's his name did? Dum the Myers cut. I really want to see that.
Yep. I want to see that too. Let's see here. My top 5. When obviously the original is number 1, 2018's is number 2. Halloween. I would count as of right now. It's still part of canon. Halloween 3: Season of the Witch is like number 3. Then Halloween 2, and then Halloween 4. That's my top 5.
And those are good picks. Again, I love Season of the Witch, but I love it so much. I don't want to put it into the other films. It cripples it in a lot of ways.
It does because it is its own separate beast. But I know as of right now, it's still technically in the franchise, so I rank it as in the franchise. But if I had to knock that one out, then I would put Curse in number 5 and just bump everything up.
You didn't like H2O?
Oh, I keep forgetting about H2O. I like H2O a lot. I don't think H2O is not scary at all to me.
Not at all. No.
It lacks a lot of scares, but it's a solid story. It's great to see Jamie back. She's having fun in the role. But it lacks scares. But it is made by fans, just the way 2018 is made by fans.
I have a suspicion that Kevin Williamson did a lot of rewrites on it, and not just I think he's an executive producer on it. I would have liked to have seen them just give him the reins. Hey, write it and direct it any way you want.
Yep.
But yeah, that is pretty much our discussion for Halloween 2018. We both obviously loved it. This was more of a discussion than a review because I haven't got to talk to a super fan about it. Like my buddy from my church that I went to go see it with, he likes horror movies, but he won't get deep into it like me and you did. And the second time I saw it, man, there was this guy in the theater. I think I texted you about him, who was so great. I mean, he knew everything people in the movie were supposed to do, and he was nice enough to shout it on the top of his lungs so we all could hear. I mean,
I love people like that.
Love it when those guys are at the theater.
Oh, I know. They make the theater experience. Like they make it what it is, and why it's great to go to the theater sometimes.
Yeah, I especially love it when people next to me check their phone. It's like, thank you so much. I mean, right. I really appreciate you checking your Instagram to see how many likes your sandwich got.
Oh, I know. It's so wonderful. It's like, oh, I can't wait to follow you later. Thank you for the free, advertisement.
I mean, it feels like we're in your living room watching something. I
know. How wonderful.
If you can't tell, we are being very sarcastic.
Yes. I had that same situation with when I saw Ouija 2 Origins of Evil. I had the same situation that has that really cool opening sequence, and this woman's phone was on, and I was like, ma'am, and like normally I don't call out people, but like I love this movie, and I took my friend who I wanted to love this movie, and I was like, look, ma'am, we did not pay. Also, I didn't pay to see this movie, but still I pretended like it is. Like, ma'am, we did not pay to read your text messages, and she put it away.
So you George Costanza them?
Yes.
Like in the Seinfeld episode?
Oh, absolutely. I was like, man, we did not pay this money so we can read your text messages. Turn it down. Like, why? And half the time the people are so dumb, they don't even know to turn the brightness down on their phones. So they're like twice as annoying.
I shut my phone off the second I walk into the theater.
I will not shut mine off. But I've only do it for like big movies. Like this is like, no, you're not interrupting me. But I don't check my phone.
No, I'll put it like this. Like if I was married and my wife was about to go into labor any moment, then, I'll keep it on vibrate and I'll sit all the way in the back.
Yeah.
But no, dude. Okay. And I think we've gone enough rambling right now. So I'm going to end this broadcast so me and you could talk some PlayStation stuff for a little bit.
Yes, we need to play.
Yeah, I gotta pay my I wanted to call it Prime, but I gotta pay my PlayStation Plus soon.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for checking us out.
All right.